Glad of you guys to join us. I got a special guest for you today. Most of you already know who he is, but for those of you who don't, go Jay.
Faithful Niner Empire. 49ers first takes. What's good? You
What's
know
up,
who it
man?
is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. And it's a pleasure to be on with you. 49ers first takes. How you doing today, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing excellent. It's an honor to be on your show, man. I've been following your channel, I would say at least for the last 6 months, and you've been growing exponentially. You've been leveling up, and it's great to be on your show, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. It's we've been trying this for a while to get you on my channel, but I was out of work, then I went back to work, and now my schedule, I had to make sure I had our times matched up. So we
Right.
finally got it. We're just going to talk about pretty much a lot of the same stuff everybody else has been talking about, but I'm just
Yeah.
going to get your perspective on it, your spin. Kind of a loosey goosey, no stress kind of chat here. Nothing stressful. What's up, CG?
What's good,
CG in the
CG?
chat. And then we'll go from there. I for some reason I'm not seeing my view count on this thing. This thing acts up. But so my first question. First,
Sure.
I'm gonna let me introduce you. Let me introduce you. Introduce yourself. Tell people where they can find you.
Sure.
Tell them a little about yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. I go by the name, of course, Jay in the Bay. I'm originally from the Bay Area. You can find me on YouTube, of course, same name, Jay in the Bay. IG, Twitter is all the same, Jay in the Bay. And I love to talk about, y'all see it, the red and gold, the 49ers, the Niner Empire. And it's great that we have this platform to talk about, the team we love. And that's what I'm excited about. And that's what you can find on my channel. Everything associated with the Niners, updates, news, live streams, everything. So check out Jay in the Bay on YouTube. And what's good, CG? How you doing?
What's
And
up, CG?
49ers
What's up?
Ultimate Report.
What's up, Ultimate Report? Thanks for the super chat, by the way. The other chat. I'll definitely be paying more attention to chat because we all kind of know each other a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm less like when I have certain guests on, like people who like work in media or something.
Yeah.
I get really nervous. But
Yeah.
because I know you guys and we all are all comfortable around each other. We all watch each other's channels. So I'm real comfortable with this. So my
Cool.
first question to you has been my first question to all my guests the last couple of times. And how would you rate the Niners kind of like with draft mixed with free agency, re-signings, all that? If you had to give a grade, A through F, or like a number grade, 1 through 10, where would you come in on that?
I'd go with the letter grade. After the end of this past season, there was a lot of question marks going into the offseason. If you look at the defensive secondary, all of our corners were basically on 1-year contracts, including the safeties, except Jimmy Ward. The defensive line, there was issues about depth. Nick Bosa obviously had the torn ACL. D Ford, what can we really expect from him? The offensive line, I wouldn't say was in shambles, but definitely felt like it needed to be infused with young talent. And I feel like Lynch and Shanahan addressed most of the needs. They revamped the offensive line, bringing on Alex Mack, re-signing. They backed up the Brinks trunk for the big silverback Trent Williams. He's back with the Niners. We also drafted 2 offensive linemen in the draft. I was surprised we added running backs to the running back room. I thought we were pretty good in that area, but good thing we did because, Jeff Wilson Jr. already got hurt. And we also needed an infusion of young talent in the secondary. And that's definitely what Lynch did with, the 2 corners and the safety. So I think Lynch did an excellent job. I would probably give him a B+. I just wish we would have been more proactive, maybe put a higher priority to the wide receiver position. But other than that, I think it's a B+ overall for Lynch this offseason.
Yeah, a B+ is kind of where I had it too. A would be if we addressed receiver,
right,
and maybe draft a corner a little earlier.
Right.
Say like, but you can't have it all in the draft. You
Right.
have priority. Our priority was getting a quarterback this year. and we nailed it so far.
Yeah.
Time will tell. It's funny. I'm going to kind of go into this. I don't even know if it's a topic, but I'm going to go into this. Have you seen the injury list already for OTAs?
Yes.
What in the
Yeah.
world? I watched Grant Cohn talk about it, and he made a good point about this training staff. There's some holdovers from a previous training staff on this one.
Mhm.
Plus, they have a guy that was from the NHL. And you have like an injury like Jeff Wilson's where he pretty much just stood up and something popped. And then you have all these lower extremity injuries all the time. There has to be something, man. I feel like they're going on the cheap with this training staff. I feel like they might need to revamp it again, because this has been ongoing since this whole regime took over. For all the good they've done, this is like their black eye, so to speak. And it's frustrating to me. It's even frustrating to a guy like Grant, who's not really a Niner loyalist. He can't understand it, and he's just a beat reporter. Yeah. As fans, it's infuriating. What do you think about that, man? To me, I hate it.
I'm definitely confused. I'm baffled. I don't really understand what's going on. But last year was a unique year with COVID. There were no OTAs, there were no training camp, there were no preseason games. So guys didn't really have an opportunity to like ramp up. Usually in OTAs, you just start off, you're jogging, you're doing your position exercises, and then you slowly ramp up. Once you get closer to the season. Last year, there was no ramp up. It was basically just, hey, start playing week 1. I mean, that's all you could really do. And then, of course, I think it was the New York, the Jets and Giants stadium, of course, with the bad turf, with Nick Bosa got hurt, Solomon Thomas got hurt, Jimmy G got hurt, and it's very unfortunate. I'm not sure, football is obviously, we know it's a physical sport. Injuries are going to happen. It just sucks that we've kind of had the short stick, and we've suffered a lot of injuries. I just hope that the injuries that are happening now don't linger on into the regular season, and because if they linger on, it's just going to unfortunately get worse. And I think that the Niners brass need to look at a medical staff or a training staff. They need to at least look at it and say, hey, I mean, what's going on? Last year was an exception, I believe, because of the COVID and the players not being able to train under the 49ers umbrella. But we're already there this year. All guys are already getting hurt. So I think the Niners definitely need to look into it.
I think the Niners are smart to draft 2 running backs. I think Raheem Mostert's time on this team is going to come to an end sooner than later, personally. For as productive as he's been, he's an older running back. He's going to command a decent salary, and he just has problems staying healthy. He's like a Ferrari. You use him, he's super fast. He does a lot of great things, but the more you use him, he's almost like how Breida was. It's like the more you expose them, the more injuries pile up, and the more they get nicked. So I'm glad that they drafted a guy like Trey Sermon. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad that I forgot about the running back we got last year. I can't think of his name. He's an undrafted free agent.
Jermichael Hasty?
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
And then of course Wayne, I think is it Wayne Gallman. So
Wayne Gallman from the Giants. Yeah. Yeah.
Smart that they decided to address it, because Jeff Wilson Jr. is already down.
Yeah.
Mostert. I'm just like, it gets to a point, man, where it's like eye rolling, head scratching, and then it's just like you laugh almost hysterically, and almost like you're some sort of like there's something wrong with you. Like, I can't believe this. This is I don't know, man. I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt because it's June.
Yeah.
But this is definitely something to watch for sure.
You made a great point that fortunately Lynch had the foresight to hey, let's draft running backs, let's draft offensive linemen. I think it was clear looking at this draft that the 49ers still want to, run the ball with Shanahan. That's definitely what he wants to do. Hopefully we can run the ball this year, 30, 35 times a game, and maybe pass between 20 and 25 times. And I think Shanahan wants to control the time of possession and, play good defense. And you can't really do that, control the time of possession, without a few running backs. And of course, a strong offensive line. So Fortunately, we have good depth, I think, in the running back room, and hopefully everyone can stay healthy from this point on.
For real. Brain Tom Ocean, thank you very much for the kind sentiments. I appreciate it. Damian Lee, third quarterback. I mean, Rosen, I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
he's an experienced starter, whatever that means as far as how good he is. But
yeah,
he's a third quarterback. Does it really matter if you're hitting your third quarterback?
you're in trouble.
Chances are your season's over anyways. So
Yeah,
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 Rosen seems like a good option. From what Grant was saying, I hate to keep talking about Grant Cohn because this is my deal, but he follows the 49ers and I pick his brain.
yeah,
He said he looked pretty good in the throws that he was allowed in OTAs, but again, this is with nobody around you. This is not live game, live bullets are flying, but his arm talent has never been in question. It's just like the mental makeup
yeah,
of a guy like Rosen, does he really care about football kind of thing?
yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, speaking of quarterbacks, one of my questions that I sent to you was the talk of this second wave of OTAs. They're saying that Trey Lance is looking a lot better.
Mhm.
7-on-7s, 11-on-11s. He looked a lot better. His arm talent is evident. How he can flick it. Like, this passing game is so constricted and so vertically challenged. It's more of a horizontal passing game, and I feel
Yeah,
that's the one thing about Trey Lance that excites me. If he can get the mental part and the speed, and he's going to make his rookie mistakes and everything. That's the part I'm excited about. There's so much that this offense can do with him on the field.
no, totally. I definitely agree. Trey Lance has been looking good in OTAs, but Jimmy G has been looking good as well. I've seen the stats where Jimmy G has been completing like 100% of his passes. And you make a great point about the horizontal passing game. I don't know if it's Shanahan doesn't trust Jimmy or Jimmy doesn't trust his targets, or hell, maybe we need to upgrade the wide receiver position because after the Ayuk show, Brandon Ayuk and Debo
Love that
Samuel
man.
and Kittle, what else is there? I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty, and
Yeah.
I understand. Fans, I've heard this before. Hey, we want to run the ball, effectively, and that's all good and well. But when it's time to pass, you got to have the receivers who can make plays. And I think after those three players I mentioned, there's just a lot of uncertainty. I mean, Mohamed Sanu, Travis Benjamin, what do they have left? Austin Walter, he was an undrafted free agent. I like Jennings, I like Hurd, but they've been hurt the last 2 years. So, I think a wide receiver, like 49ers Ultimate Report says, wide receiver is definitely a need.
Yeah. And with Jawan Jennings, not Jawan Jennings, with Jalen Hurd, you can't have any expectations for him. None.
Yeah.
He's like extra. Like, if you get something out of him this year,
you'll be
same
lucky.
thing with D Ford. And take what you can get,
right.
Whatever contributions, because D Ford was, I hate to say it, as effective as he is when he's on the field, he was a horrible trade. That was a horrible trade.
Yeah.
The Niners, the Chiefs they sucker the Niners into that. They knew he was damaged goods, and the Niners are desperate to have edge opposite of they could have kind of like a dual threat pass rush. And the Niners, unfortunately, I don't know, man. Like I said, for all the good that this front office does, there's things that they do that makes me scratch my head. You know what I mean? So I'm a realist. Hey, what's up, clown man? But I'm a realist and I try to be positive, but I'm also like one of those people. I'm kind of cynical, too.
Yeah.
My nephew's the same way.
Because you don't want to, you don't want to be let down. I mean, when we talk about D Ford, I mean, what can you really expect from D Ford? He's had the back injuries. I was thinking hopefully we can just use him as a third down pass rush specialist. Like maybe he plays 10 to 12 snaps a game, just on obvious passing third down situations. And, that's if he can be effective in that area. I mean, that's you take what you can get at this point, as you said. So,
yep. Yeah. And one of the topics that I had here was that slot third wide receiver conundrum. There's the talk, or there was talk about Julio. There's been some interesting stuff lately, at least from yesterday, that said that the price of Julio might be coming down. And who tweeted? They said it might have been Javier Vega, the guy, the man that I had on my last live show.
Okay.
From Fourth and Goal podcast said that if the Niners get Julio Jones for less than what they got or what Mohamed Sanu went for when he was traded originally from the to the Patriots, that's messed up. Like something's going on there. But I think I don't know if it's just the financial part that Atlanta's really worried about and not so much the compensation, but I don't see it happening. I would love for it to happen if we didn't have to give up like really heavy assets.
Yeah.
He would definitely be an upgrade to anything we have as far as third wide receiver slot that we had before and now. You think about Trent Taylor. I was never the biggest Trent Taylor fan, honestly. I thought he was cool his first year, but other than those games with Jimmy, never really saw what the big deal was about him. And then, of course, don't get me started on Dante Pettis, one of my most unfavorite 49er player of all time, next to Kyle Williams. When I hear his name, I have indigestion. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear about it.
Dante Pettis was definitely a disappointment. I don't know. He just didn't have what it took, I guess. But I hope the best for him and Dante Pettis' career. But I was going to mention, you were talking about the wide receiver. Yeah, with Julio Jones, I mean, he obviously would be an upgrade in the wide receiver room. I mean, we need a proven playmaker at the wide receiver position. And, in 2019, I feel like the offense took off when we traded for Emmanuel Sanders. Jimmy G had like a professional wide receiver who can, he read coverages when he's at the line of scrimmage. He knows how to get open. He's got good hands. He can run routes. Like, we need another playmaker. I'd be okay with getting Odell Beckham Jr. I know the thing with him is he's coming off that torn ACL, but his contract is much more team friendly compared to Julio. I believe OBJ has about 3 years left on his contract, but only 1 year is guaranteed. So, hey, you trade for him. If it doesn't work out, you can cut him. With Julio, you still got 3 years, to pay him. But I feel like either one of those players I'd be happy with, because we definitely need an upgrade at the wide receiver position for sure.
When I was talking to Javier Vega, he mentioned Jamison Crowder.
Okay. From the Jets. Yeah.
What's your opinion on him?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I was looking at some of the news today, and I believe Jamison Crowder is not at the OTAs for the Jets. And I believe it's because they're trying to work on, extending his contract. But yeah, Jamison Crowder is a good receiver. I would definitely welcome him for sure.
Man, it's funny. How many years are we into the Lynch Shanahan regime, and wide receiver always seems to be a point of contention, if that's the right word. I don't think it's the right word, but like, we did good on drafting Ayuk.
Yep.
Is Debo really a receiver, or is he a gadget player? That's the thing about Debo. I hate that he's always like, I love the jet sweep part of his game, but I feel that's the part of his game that gets him hurt. Like, I remember there was a highlight. Yeah. I like my receivers to be receivers, and I don't mind him occasionally getting the jet sweep, but when it's like a consistent part of your offense and he's taking on guys and he's running over guys and then he's limping to the sideline, it's like something needs to be adjusted.
Yeah, I think Debo, he can be a receiver similar to Ayuk, and I love the passion, the energy that Debo brings. I love that he tries to run over defenders, break tackles, but that's not a recipe for longevity, unfortunately. So no. Debo's going to have to change something. He's looked good so far, and last year was a sophomore slump for sure. He had that I think he broke his foot. I believe it was in July. He obviously, you can't work out, you can't get into shape. So when he came back, he wasn't in shape, and unfortunately, he injured something else. So, but I think Debo, he's a good receiver. Obviously, it depends all on health. But I like Debo. I like what he brings, but he's going to have to change up his game, for the betterment of the team.
Yep. Same thing with Kittle, the way Kittle plays. He shows all these offseason workouts and how committed he is to his craft and getting in shape and stuff. But if you went a long NFL career, you got to find a way to keep yourself on the field. And if that means going out of bounds instead of trucking 3 defenders, then do it. If it means getting down instead of taking a humongous hit, then do it. Because the teams that win championships are the teams that have most of their roster intact in February or late January, early February.
Yep.
I understand going all out and doing what you can for the team to be the best player you could possibly be, but you also have to think long term, the long game. So if that means, like I said, stepping out of bounds, going down, instead of getting 5 extra yards, get 3 extra yards. You know what I mean? Unless it's like an absolute, like a 4th down play and you got to get the 5 yards, that's one thing. But like if it's 1st and 10 and you only get a 6-yard gain instead of a 9-yard gain, that's all right. That's okay.
Right.
If that means preserving your body, I don't know, man. Like I watch games and I get excited. And then at the same time, I'm like, watch him get up limping. And then sometimes it happens and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So if you do what they say, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of what? Insanity.
Insanity. Yep.
So I'm insane. And I mean, that's besides football. I'm already insane. But like when it comes to football, I'm insane. I go insane from them doing the same thing over and over again and getting hurt and then wondering why.
And Kittle,
so,
and Kittle, I was going to say, one of Kittle's plays that I remember, of course, is the game against New Orleans. It was a 4th down. Kittle catches a pass. He's trucking defenders. He's running over people. And, that's great for highlights. It's great, but it's not great necessarily for the team because, he can get hurt. So I think he definitely should, I don't want to say get out of bounds, but you kind of have to in order to, like you said, in order to be in the game, to play all 17 games and to be in a deep playoff run. But also for Lynch, you have to know your personnel. If you know Kittle won't change, then hell, go get Zach Ertz or go get Eric Ebron. Go get another established tight end because hey, Kittle's going to give you 110%. No matter if he's blocking, no matter if he's catching. So then you got to get a second tight end where there's not a significant drop off.
Right. And you don't want to stop a guy's way of playing and like neuter him, so to speak. But yeah, like you said, if you can get another player that does the things that Kittle doesn't, which means like going down or going out of bounds, just catching the pass, doing what you can. It's a slippery slope because I don't want to sound like a guy that doesn't want the guy to do the most he can for the team. But at the same time, like we're always hurt. So like all these little things we could do to help it might help. So I don't know. Yeah. I just want to say hi to Tommy Huxley. Try not to get in trouble, my man.
What's good, Tommy?
I have somebody in the chat. Where is he? I want to say hi to him because he has a cool name, Cheeseburger Hall. I think that's like the best name ever. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you before. If you've been in here, I might not have been paying attention to chat, but that's a great name. Let's see. What else? As far as Trey Lance and Jimmy G go, what is your realistic expectation as far as are you of the mindset of sitting all year and just holding a notepad or a clipboard or whatever, or are you of the mindset that let's get him in on drives, a series in the 3rd quarter when we're up 3 touchdowns and let him run the offense? Let's see what we got. Let's see our investment. And if he looks good and Jimmy starts to falter, I mean, you paid a hefty price to get this man, young man with all this talent, and he's a nice guy too. So, I mean, what's your take on that?
I think best case scenario for the 49ers, Jimmy G starts every game this year because let's be real, Jimmy G is not going to be the starting quarterback here next year. The 49ers need Jimmy G to play, excellent, need to play at a, upper echelon level. So that way we can trade Jimmy to the highest bidder in the offseason. I think that's what the 49ers want to happen. And that'll happen if Jimmy G stays healthy. He's playing well and the team is winning. If those 3 things happen, Jimmy G will stay as a starter. I had mentioned in the past, it would be interesting to see if Trey Lance could be used like Taysom Hill with the Saints, when Taysom Hill and Drew Brees were there, where Taysom Hill would come in at quarterback for maybe like 5 to 7 snaps a game, just to kind of confuse the defense, give the defense a different look. I would like to see Trey Lance used in that mold, but I definitely do not want to see Trey Lance just get the starting job just because, he was, the third overall pick. So
Fair enough.
I don't want to see that. I want to see him earn the job. I want to see him get, comfortable in the playbook. I mean, he hasn't played in what? It'll be like a year and a half, the last time he actually played meaningful football. So we have Jimmy G, and when he was healthy, he was integral in getting us to the Super Bowl. Now, if we had, Brian Hoyer as our starter, then then yeah, you might as well put Trey Lance in. But Jimmy G has proven to win, and I think 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. That sounds pretty good to me. Maybe less interceptions, maybe get that down to single digits, but I think Jimmy G should start the entire season. So
I think Jimmy G starting all year means we're doing really good. Like,
right,
we got a good record. We're reasonably healthy, and I think I don't want to say Trey Lance is like you put him in if the season's a lost cause, because I don't think that helps him either.
Right.
I just think hopefully if we, like I said, we can stay healthy. He's got a lot of weapons at his disposal when they're healthy. He's got 3 at least really good weapons. And then if the Niners run game is as good as it was in 2019, you take so much pressure off a young guy if he has to play. You take a lot of pressure off Jimmy when he plays, when the running game is fantastic.
Right.
My whole thing with Jimmy is this. They took the ball out of his hands in the playoffs to the Super Bowl run. Right. And a lot of people were like, they were running the ball so well, but Jimmy was throwing the ball a little bit. I forget which game, and he threw that pick, and Kyle automatically went right back to the run. I feel like Jimmy's confidence might have been shooken in the playoffs. Yeah. And then when he got to the Super Bowl, it kind of all just came to a head. I hope Jimmy stays healthy this year. Yeah. He's been a really good sport. I sound like a dad of a kid who plays like a Pop Warner football. But he's been a really good sport. He's been a professional, and that bodes well for things. Jimmy playing well also helps us if we trade him next year.
Right.
Getting value back. So like I said, it's a slippery slope. I want to see the kid play though at some point this year in some sort of form or fashion.
We'll see him. We'll see plenty of Trey in the preseason. We'll see him plenty in the preseason. I don't think Trey will start any game this year unless Jimmy G's hurt, or if Jimmy G is throwing too many interceptions or something like that. But there's no lie. Jimmy G in the playoffs in the 2019. I think you're talking about the Minnesota game when he threw that interception, and fortunately the running game was just it was on another level. Raheem Mostert was having a crazy postseason, and we rode the running game. But I think with Jimmy G, he's not going to play perfect every game, obviously, and quarterbacks, they throw interceptions. That happens. But fortunately, we can rely on a running game and a strong offensive line. So I think we'll be fine with Jimmy G.
I hope so. And I like I said, and I feel like I have to say this over and over again. Health is the main culprit.
Yeah.
With health, we can compete. Now, I don't know if we're at the level of Tampa, because Tampa's got the GOAT. And listen, I'm a Joe Montana guy all the way. I've said this before on my stream. It took me a long time to give up my fight with saying Joe was the greatest of all time. I had to give it to Tom. He's got, so many more Super Bowls, but that team is loaded. They have really good wide receivers. They have a good pass rush.
Yeah.
So the way I see the Niners this year, when I was talking to Javi Vega, he sees the Niners, and I don't know if you agree with this. I don't want you to get mad at me, as like maybe a divisional round loss team, like where they get to the divisional round maybe and then lose to, Tampa or whoever the eventual team that plays Tampa in the NFC Championship game. How do you think? What's your if you had a crystal ball,
Yeah.
What what are you seeing? What kind of outcome of this season are you seeing?
First, shout out to everyone in the chat. I appreciate everyone joining us in the stream. Shout out Livy's World. What's good? If I had my crystal ball, I think the Niners go 12-5 on the season, and I think we have a deep playoff run. I think we meet the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game, and I think we beat them and we go to the Super Bowl.
You are the ultimate optimistic person. I'm so negative. See, that's why some people get on me for being like a little bit more of a Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
Just I always set my expectations really low so I get surprised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be like you and just be like, we got this.
Yeah.
But I've been burned so many times with this team. It's hard.
I mean, it's going to be very tough. I mean, if you look at our division, I mean, our division is tough. But the quarterbacks we have to go against, their wide receivers, like our division is going to be tough. But I like our coaching. I think our coaching is probably the best in the NFC West, and I think that will be one of the pros that we have on our team. And I think that'll help us. Even if we don't win in division, obviously, I think we'll still be a playoff team. Do you think we'll be a playoff team at least?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. With health, we're a playoff team.
Yeah.
I just don't know how far. You're right. We could make it all the way to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl this year. We don't know. Yeah. The season has a funny way of playing out different every time. Like, I thought Kansas City was repeating this year.
Yeah.
Because Niners fans got to admit it. Mahomes is the real freaking deal, man. Mm-hmm. He is so damn good. You might hate on him because he sounds like Kermit the Frog, like me. I don't care. The dude can play. He's like Brady. I hate Brady, man, okay? I hate him because he took Joe's mantle, okay?
Yeah.
But you got to give a dude his props. Same with LeBron. I'm a Jordan guy, but LeBron is damn good. He and Jordan are like neck and neck. It didn't help his case, yesterday that they lost that series.
Yeah.
All I'm saying. But, you know, hey, listen, everybody has a different opinion about things. So, but yeah. So the June 1st cuts happen. And one of the guys that we didn't really cut him, he retired, was Richburg.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, not one of the best signings of the Lynch and Shanahan regime. One of those overpay for a guy that barely played kind of things. Mm-hmm. Seems like the Niners have a little bit of a track record with that of giving a bunch of money to a guy that is barely on the field.
Yeah.
Jet McKinnon, D Ford, Richburg. But that's going to free up some money in 2022, which in turn is going to help with any type of re-signings. You know, Verrett's on a 1-year deal. I'm trying to think of all the other players that are on 1-year deals, but the cap goes up in 2022 to, I think the floor is $208 million.
Yeah.
So it could be anywhere from 208, who knows, like 212, which is awesome. And then I think the year after it goes up even more. So that Jimmy contract comes off the books. Richburg comes off the books. Cap goes up. You know, we could field a decent team where our window could be extended for a 5-6 year window where we have a pretty damn good roster. So, for all the negative that I harp on, those are some of the positives that I'm really happy about. Speaking of that, what's your opinion on what the Niners should do with Fred Warner as far as contract negotiations? Do you think they get it done sooner than later?
I think they should definitely sign Fred Warner. I think he's proven to be, the best middle linebacker in the NFL. I'm not sure what they're waiting on because Darius Leonard, a linebacker with the Indianapolis Colts, they were both drafted in the same draft, and Leonard is going to get an extension as well. So if Leonard signs first, most likely Fred Warner and his representation are going to ask for more money than what Leonard got. So I don't understand what the Niners are waiting on. But speaking back to the Niners overpaying for players, they kind of had to. After they got rid of Harbaugh, which obviously was a mistake. I mean, they had Jim Tom Sula, Chip Kelly. I mean, they had to beg guys to come to the Niners. And that's why you had, Jet McKinnon, oversign. Obviously, that didn't work. And the other names you mentioned, D Ford, Richburg was good. I think he solidified the offensive line, but again, he got hurt, and that's something that, unfortunately, the only way you can really, you can't stop injuries from happening, but you got to have depth along your team, and that's the only way you can really combat that is having depth at multiple positions. And I think Lynch did an excellent job with that, this offseason. But yeah, Fred Warner, sign him up. Sign him up yesterday. I don't know what we're waiting on. So maybe they're waiting for the cap to go up. I don't know. Maybe next year. I don't know.
My thing is they just might have been waiting for the actual Richburg to come off the books,
right?
Or some June 1st. I don't know how money works sometimes with bonuses and certain things that kick in on June 1st. Who knows? I asked Larry Krueger when I had him on one of the times. He thinks it gets done in the same thing with John Chapman. He said it. He thinks it gets done in the same way that the Kittle one got done.
Mm.
It's going to be done in good faith. Show up, show out in camp, and the Niners will reward you. This whole sitting out and I'm not going to show up. I just think this Niners, for a team that's had pretty much a bunch of losing records and one really good year, they have a really, really strong locker room and culture on that team for a team that hasn't won a lot.
Yeah.
And you couldn't say that about the previous regime or regimes with these coaches. So that's the one thing that a lot of 49er fans should be proud of is this organization is doing its best to be like a really, good culture for players.
Yeah.
The thing what it is with me when you have contracts and you pay a lot of money and then you don't get the payoff. Because I'm a Yankees fan, okay? Or I'm not diehard like I used to be. I don't really watch baseball anymore. So, when the Yankees spend all this money and they get all the best players, the expectation is to win this World Series. Right. And anything less than that is a failure. When you sign a guy to as much money, or if the Niners say they have to overpay, and you get anything less than their best, and they're hurt all the time or whatever, they don't live up to the expectations that the contract warrants.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people. I'm old school. Like, I feel like you should play what your worth is, and if you don't, then it's a bad deal. But I'm also, like I said, I'm really cynical about that. So,
no, I understand. This is $1 billion. These NFL teams are worth billions of dollars. I think the players, I agree they should earn what they get, but after they sign the contract, it's kind of hard to, if they get hurt, it's unfortunately that's a part of the game. There's not much the 49ers can do. And, in baseball, all the contracts are guaranteed. There's no salary cap. The Yankees obviously have an advantage because they have their own baseball network, the Yes Network. So, they can spend as much money as they want. And also like the Dodgers. But in the NFL, there's a salary cap. You have to spend a certain amount every year, I believe, or else you get penalized. I mean, you have to spend up to a certain amount of the top of the salary cap. So, some guys would get overpaid, and then obviously when you first get into the league, you have to play on like a rookie contract, which is great for the Niners with Trey Lance, right? Yes. That's how you build a team, rookie contract, and you can build, around another team around him. So, but hopefully we get Fred signed. That's what I'm hoping for. Hopefully, as you said,
me too.
Maybe I think Kittle got signed in, was it August or September last year, I believe.
I forget. It could have been right as training camp was starting.
Okay.
That he might have gotten signed, like right as it was happening. And John, like I said, John Lynch in Parag Marafe, I must say, they do a great job of finessing the cap.
Yeah.
And getting these deals for the most part. For all the crap that I give them for the bad deals, they've had some really good deals where they're performance based, incentive based,
right? Or
they might load it up on guaranteed money, signing bonus type of thing. They're smart. Yeah. So it's not that I don't know. I've been a 49ers fan since 1989. I lived through Montana and young to Montana to a really dark period. So
Yeah.
Man, I want that 6 title so bad. I was 15, and I've repeated this on a lot of my live streams, so all you guys that are in here are probably going to roll your eyes. I was 15 the last time the Niners won a Super Bowl. I'm 41 going on 42. We need to
Too long.
win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Too
I'm
long,
an old
man
now. I could be a grandfather right now. So just let that sink in for a bit.
Yeah.
Let's see here what we got. I wanted to talk about D'Amico Ryans. I heard you on your live stream talk about him. How his I'm trying to think of the word. His philosophy differs from Robert Saleh, where Saleh was all gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
Kind of, I guess they're both kind of similar in that way.
Yeah.
But this is more of an attack. He's building an attack, pass rush, kind of blitzing with some man-to-man behind it. Like, this is going to be a different Niners defense. It's going to be, sometimes I might get, burnt or whatever because man-to-man, if you don't get there, you're beat.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like aggressive defenses. I like defenses that disrupt, especially if you play a guy like Brady and you just can knock him down the whole game and harass them, these pocket quarterbacks. Because we do really good against pocket quarterbacks. So, but I'm intrigued because they could have gone for a bigger name at defensive coordinator. What do you think about? I already know what you think about D'Amico, but maybe you can reintroduce it to some of the people in this chat that have never seen you before.
Absolutely, I think D'Amico Ryans. I think he should do excellent. He played. He played at a high level at the University of Alabama at the linebacker position. He was an All-American there. He was Rookie of the Year once he got drafted by the Texans. So he's played the game, D'Amico Ryans, at a high level at the linebacker position. And he's been with the Niners for, I believe, the past 4 years. And you can see the evolution of Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, and that's partly thanks to D'Amico Ryans because D'Amico Ryans was a linebacker coach. So I like the in-house hire of D'Amico Ryans. He knows the defense, and I like what he said. He wants to fast, aggressive, smart defense, and the defense is nothing without a pass rush. If the front four don't get there, then the secondary is in trouble. And what I want to see will be interesting to see from D'Amico is how does he adjust in game, and also. On a 3rd and 2, a 3rd and 7, do you call a blitz? Do you call man? Do you call zone? So I think that'll work itself out when the games start, but I think we're definitely in a good place. All the players respect D'Amico, so I'm excited for this hire. I like it.
Players like familiarity is one thing I've noticed in the NFL. The Niners went through so many coaching and assistants changes over the course of, just over the course of time. Pre-Harbaugh, post-Harbaugh, to have the same coaches, same assistants, same systems in place. Brady won all those Super Bowls with New England, and he ran the same offense, and they ran a pretty similar defense. The players changed on defense, but Brady stayed the same.
Yep.
Familiarity helps things just be easier. If you're constantly having to relearn something, man, you're thinking on the field instead of reacting. And that's the one thing about having a guy like D'Amico there. They already know D'Amico. He's not trying to win guys over with rah-rah. He's not like that idiot that the Lions hired who came to a press conference with a motorcycle helmet on. Like, what is that, man? Listen, if I had a boss and he walked in and tried to give me some sort of rah-rah speech with a motorcycle hat on, I'd walk out. Like, fire me, I don't care.
I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he was trying to make a statement. He was saying, he wants to bite the other kneecap off and all this and stuff like that. We'll see. We'll see what they do. We'll see. We play the Detroit Lions, the first game of the season in Detroit.
They better not bust our butt. Man, I will feel like a fool. Oh, man. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm trying to keep an eye on the comments I made. I put on my community tab that I do see the chat. I just with certain guests on, I don't always pay attention because I want you guys to kind of experience the guest.
Right.
Whereas we're all kind of 49er YouTubers. We're a family. We all kind of know each other now, a lot of us. So like, it's easier for me to kind of transition back and forth between chat and then talking.
Right.
We touched on the camp injuries. The one thing I don't know if you noticed, but it looks like those 1994 red throwbacks are making a comeback possibly. What's your thought on that? Are you going to cop one? Because you know I am. If Warner gets signed, I'm
Yeah.
getting one of those. Like
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah, I heard about that. There's going to be a State of the Union or State of the 49ers franchise on June 30th. And yeah, I hear that that might happen, and I'm hoping for it. Those 94 jerseys are slick. And yeah, I would definitely want to get like a Trey Lance or Brandon Ayuk or something like that. That'd be really nice. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about Ayuk.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh man, I might have to get 2 of them.
Yeah.
Ooh, those are fire. I need to lose some weight, man, because I put a lot of weight on since being out of work. And the jerseys.
You ain't the only one, man. You ain't the only one.
I'm pushing. Let's see. I'm about 6'3", and I'm about 275.
Wow. Okay.
I should be around probably 220. Jerseys look better when you don't got a belly underneath them.
Right.
Where it looks like you're smuggling something, like you stole something from the supermarket or something, and you got it in your shirt. So yeah, like I put my jerseys on to my brother. We got we get jerseys from those like Japanese websites where like the jerseys have slight errors in them and you can't see them, but they're legit jerseys.
Right.
And you get them for like, so I got a Kittle and I got a Bosa white, 94 throwback white. So
nice.
Like if I'm going to get jerseys, I need to get at least 2 of them, to make it worth it. So yeah, it would probably have to be like an Ayuk. I don't like quarterback jerseys. I told that to Javi Vega. He doesn't either. He's a little bit older. I have a Kaepernick sitting. I have a $300 or how much money I paid a Kaepernick jersey sitting in my closet. My one friend was trying to get it from me. I'm like, I'm not giving it away for free, bro. Like you're gonna have to pay. So I paid. He's like, how much was it? And I told him. He was like, sheesh, never mind. I was like, nah, I'm not giving that away. That's it's built to have pads underneath it, So
wow, you got the official, yeah.
Yeah, I have. Remember when the Niners changed over to Nike from Reebok? I got 3 discounted. I got a Gore authentic, a Vernon Davis authentic, and a Patrick Willis. Like those old school like white mesh ones where you could like see the holes.
Yeah.
With the the stitch numbers and stuff, the big stitch numbers. But like I'll break out the Gore once Gore retires or comes back. I'll definitely rock a Gore. I'm not the biggest Vernon Davis guy, honestly. I never really was. Patrick Willis, I'm still mad at him for retiring.
Yeah, he had those foot issues though, man. Like
I know. I'm a bitter guy. When I feel like somebody deserts me, I get really upset.
I like what 49ers Ultimate Report said. He said a 94 jersey with the 75th anniversary patch. That's where it's at. That'll be a nice jersey. Yeah.
That would be tasty.
Yeah.
I don't know. How are you for time?
I'm good. I'm good.
Want to see if the chat, because I'm pretty much out of topics, but I don't want to end this right yet. The chat wants to ask any questions for Jay and the Bay. Shoot, I'm all for it.
Absolutely. I didn't ask you. So what do you think the Niners record will be this year? Like best case scenario, what do you think?
I feel like they are gonna. You're gonna be interested in this one. I only see them losing 3 games.
Wow. Okay. You're more optimistic than me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like all the games they're gonna lose. They're either gonna be divisional or they're gonna be to like a really good team. I have to look at their schedule. I forgot. I did like a schedule thing with I think it was 49ers Ultimate Report and my buddy Kevin Niner by Nature 88. I have to hit him up. I haven't heard from him in a while. I would like to do a big giant 49ers roundtable discussion as training camp starts. But I also want to do when we get during the season. I know all of us live in different areas, but I'm going to hopefully always have Sundays off. I want to do like a post-game react where if we lose, say what you want. If we win, say what you want. And I'll just, whoever's channel it is, we can go, some weeks we could do it on my channel. Some weeks we could do it on your channel. We can go to CG's channel. We can go to 49ers Ultimate Report. We could just kind of, I also want to do like an NFL one too. Like maybe we get people from other teams, maybe the team we're playing that week. That would probably mean, man, I'd have to do some homework and go search out other people's channels. But yeah, I like interacting with the community. It was hard for me. I didn't do face videos or live streams for a long time. And now that I'm doing them and I get, as long as I prepare and put notes down, like I sent you the notes, kind of like I have to do that for me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just stare at the camera and look like an idiot. So it just helps me. It's like Cliff Notes,
Exactly. I do that too. When I do my own show, I write down notes so that way I'm prepared and write down several topics. But yeah, that does sound pretty good. We should definitely do that, once we get closer to the season. And I would definitely be down to do that for sure.
We got 12 wins, best, maybe more. I thought you would actually go higher, CG. Honestly, I thought you'd go a little bit higher.
Yeah, I'm thinking 12 wins. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking 12 and 5.
You guys are probably right. I keep forgetting that we have one extra game.
Yeah. Obviously the division games will be tough.
I forget. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. He does his own. Oh, sorry. That's not. CG said he does his NFC roundtable already.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I apologize. You do that. You do an NFC one too, like a divisional one. Oh yeah. I'm getting old, man. You're realistic, CG. I just people expected me to be the one that was going low, and I'm like going completely against the script here because I'm usually more of we got a Rams fan in here.
Speaking of the Rams, Rams house is pretty good, man. He obviously he talks about the LA Rams. He's a YouTube content creator. He's pretty good. Rams house.
So Rams house, we were talking about doing possibly a round table-ish discussion thing on my channel, or I want to start incorporating like divisional topics, or maybe I have a divisional guest on my channel one week and we could just debate. Or I want to get other people involved from other channels who are not just Niners fans. As long as we keep it cool and nobody gets upset. Like keep it about football. keep it loose. Keep it clean. I would like to do something like that. I want to start interjecting other. I feel like for a channel to kind of take off, sometimes you have to kind of break format a little bit and start doing stuff that maybe you're like less comfortable with.
Yeah.
So CG's already doing it, so I'm gonna copy him.
Yeah, we got to get a Rams fan. Like Rams house would be perfect. Seahawks fan and then a Cardinals fan. I think that'd be dope.
That'd be hard to have a Seahawks fan on my channel, man. I get one of you guys are gonna have to like instant message me and tell me to calm down because if they start popping off, man, I'll drop the ban hammer. I'll kick you right out. No, I won't. Like I said, keep it. No politics, no religion.
Yeah, strictly football. Yeah, just
keep
football.
Keep it on the field. So I ain't trying to get copy strikes on my channel. I'm sure you guys on your channels don't want to get marks on you.
Yeah.
I for the most part, I got really, really good. I have really good followers as far as people comments. I get. Mm-hmm. I would say for every 1,000 positive, I get 2 negative. You know what I mean? Like for the most part, everybody's pretty. I had somebody tell me I sounded like Ray Romano the other day, or Patrick Mahomes, and I was like, it took somebody that long to tell me that I sound like that guy. So I was kind of disappointed. I thought it would come quicker.
You can't please everyone, man. And with YouTube, right. Most, like I said, like you said, most people are respectful. They keep it strictly football, but you can't please everyone. And there's always a few people that, they want to go past football. And it's just a game. At the end of the day, it's just a game.
Yeah.
We're talking about the teams we love. Exactly. I mean? Yeah.
I got a mortgage to pay.
Yeah.
Like, I might be single, but I still got responsibilities.
Exactly.
So like football is an escape to me. The thing with football is I'm one of those people, and I don't know how you are. You seem like a very loose, funny guy. you're kind of opposite of me with football. I get very serious when I watch games. Like I watch them alone. I don't
Yeah.
like to be bothered when I watch football because I used to be really angry and like break stuff and get really like cursing at the TV and stuff. I've gotten better. You know, I'm 41 now, so like I gotta grow up eventually. But man, sometimes I just get when I watch football games, I have to like. My brother's like, I can't watch games with you. You're a miserable human being. I don't know. How are you when you watch games, Jay? Are you the same fun loving guy, or do you get pretty pissed off?
I would say I do get upset at times, not to the point of breaking stuff because my fiance would yell at me, but
That's
but
why
yeah,
I'm single, man.
I get
Don't
pretty
you know?
serious. I get pretty serious about the game. But yeah, as you said, like football, it's like your escape from the real work, you know, from your job and all that stuff. But I like how Rams House said, you know, he doesn't like to trash talk people. He just wants to be respectful to people, and we can all, you know, enjoy the game together. So that's what I like.
Rams are not. They're not a bummy squad. It's not like they
Right,
suck. I hate
right,
when people just use the term "your team sucks." Like they have no insight. They have no insight on anything. They just say stupid stuff. Like that's like
right.
stuff at the schoolyard, you
Yeah,
know, where people start talking about each other's mama or something. It's just like try something with some effort. You know what I mean? Like Seahawks got players. Listen, or Seahawks, excuse me, the Rams got players. Seahawks got listen. Say what you want about Russell Wilson and that he's horny or whatever. That man is. If Seattle didn't have him, Seattle would be a bottom feeder. Okay.
right.
He is the Seahawks. Like, he is the Seahawks. Kyler Murray is a really good and up and coming quarterback. I am a little concerned about the Cardinals for the fact that they kind of surrounded him with some older players, which I'm not understanding. But I got to see what Tommy Huxley has to say. What did he say here? I'm the worst watching games too. I break things, yell. One time I ripped my shirt off my chest. Dude, I punched a speaker one time, like a surround speaker, and ripped my knuckle completely open.
Wow.
My brother was over my apartment. He's like, "I'm gonna go. You're ridiculous." You're like, I'm leaving. 2 years ago, I was watching the game. This was the first. I think it was the Kyle Shanahan first year. We were in Seattle. We were up, and we lost. I had a lamp in my room, and I like bear pawed it, and it snapped, and it started sparking. And my brother's like, I can't even. He's like, you still do stuff like that? Like, I've gotten way better.
Take a chill pill.
Yeah, like I take it way too seriously, man. I don't know why. Like I said, no wonder I'm single. No one will like me when I watch 49ers. When I watch 49ers, I watched a game. LNS is breaking the coverage. Yeah, so you're like a heady guy. You watch the game from an X's and O's standpoint. I'm more of just a. That's the one thing about my channel. I'm not a person who's really good with talking X's and O's. I come of it more at a personal take,
right?
Just feeling and observation of what I see on the video scope. Some people are just way better at, and I think some people 49ers Ultimate Report, and he's a coach, I think for baseball. So he probably has that insight of just looking at things differently, which is fine. Like whatever way you watch a game, whatever way you enjoy things, that's your way. I want to go to a 49ers game when they play around here. Like I live in the Northeast. I live in New York, Western New York, Rochester.
Yeah.
Which is a couple hours away from Buffalo, hour and a half. So I'm in Bills country. They are the most diehard, crazy, going through tables, pouring mustard and ketchup on themselves type fans. But they're diehard. Like their fans now remind us of Niners fans when they were in Candlestick. Like the Niners fans in Santa Clara are not the same. And this is coming from a guy who's never been there, but they just seem like more of a Silicon Valley type fan. Whereas at Candlestick, they were like dirty and grimy and just like real people, I don't know. It's just different. I get a different vibe when I watch the stand. Like the stands are always empty. in the third quarter all the time. I'm always pissed off about that. I'm like, where are you? Don't you care? I would never leave my seat during the game, man.
Right. Yeah, I
I need a
mean,
bucket. I don't care. I want to see everything.
yeah, I mean, when you pay whatever the Niners paid for the Levi Stadium, hundreds of millions of dollars, or if not billions of dollars, they're going to attract, a different clientele. They got a brand new stadium. Obviously, everything's a lot more expensive, so only certain demographic can afford those tickets. So it's going to be a bit of a difference from a Candlestick, that's for sure. But I've been to the stadium. It's nice. But yeah, I mean, it's expensive to go to a game for sure. But yeah, you should definitely go to a game when the Niners play on the East Coast. I don't think, do the Niners have any? I don't think so. I don't think the Niners have any East Coast games this year.
Me and my nephew were going to go last year. We were thinking I was going to pay for them because we live in New York. We live in upstate, so it'd be like a 7-hour drive, or you either drive or we take a subway or train or whatever, and stay somewhere in New York or wherever the stadium is. But then COVID, that whole situation.
Yeah.
But actually, no, COVID. I'm off. But anyways, I wanted to go. It's financially right now though. I just got my bathroom and my roof done, and I'll probably get my kitchen done at some point. So money's a little tight for expenses as far as outside of normal life, other than groceries or bill paying. But man, I need to go. I've never experienced it live before. I know that's like sacrilegious. 49er fan who's never been to a 49ers game. I'm also not really big on crowds. I have a guy who has a lot of anxiety, so I don't like to be around a lot of people screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
But I wasn't always like that. When I was a young kid, I wasn't like that. You could have took me to a game and I would have loved it. As I've gotten older, I've become more curmudgeon-y, kind of like an old guy. I just don't like it. But yeah, I got to go.
Yeah, I think you should experience it one time at least. But there is a huge difference from watching a game on TV versus in the stands. Like, it is a totally different viewing experience. And sometimes it's just better just be in your own home on your couch watching the game, and you're able to. It's easier to watch when it's on your TV. The camera follows the ball than to be at the stadium. But the stadium experience is unique, though.
A lot of you guys, like, you're from the Bay Area, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So is CG, or excuse me, so is 49ers Ultimate Report. He lives.
Yeah.
Man, I'd give I can't say that here. I'd give part of my anatomy to go and watch a 49ers game, like live out there. I know earthquakes kind of scare me a little bit, but other than that, like, man, you guys, like, there's like a romanticized feeling of like living in the Bay Area, and for all the people that lived out there during the heyday, man, that must have been something, man. Like,
it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. I mean,
you see all those red and gold, and we're all family. We all cheer for the same team. I gotta say, most of 49ers YouTube, all of you guys, including you, Jay, everybody's really supportive of everybody, man. Like, everybody's really healthy. It's not a toxic fandom. You get your occasional a-holes that, want to start stuff, but for the most part, everybody's cool, man. Like, we all get along. We all support each other's channels. We tweet each other, retweet people's videos and live streams and stuff. I might not do it personally myself sometimes, but I've seen CG do it for me, and I appreciate that. Just everybody's like real cool, and I just want to say you guys are awesome. I appreciate the support. I know in Niner by Nature 88, he was with me from a long time, like probably my first 100 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
So, like, yeah, I haven't heard from him in a while. He's a busy man. He lives in Seattle.
Okay.
So that poor man has to deal with all the offense, just saying. he has to deal with all the Seahawk fans, but
yeah, and that's the great thing about the 49ers, like, it's specifically the YouTubers. Like, I feel like we can all bring something to the table that's different, but we can all support each other. Like, Niner Sickness, 49ers Ultimate Report, CG Ruthless, 49ers First Takes, of course. So it's great to have a community where we can all support each other. And eventually we're all going to do a video together, all five of us, and maybe more, maybe even Niner Nature as well. So I haven't met him yet, but, I'm definitely down to do that. But yeah, all of us are going to have to get together and do a video together. That'll be nice.
What would you guys think about, I'm just spitballing right now. It just came to me as you were talking about doing a collaborative channel, like where we do a channel where we're like, I don't know how we would do this because we're all busy. Yeah. We're like, we would do a channel and it would be like I don't know, like the 49ers Ultimate Experience or something. And it would be like, we'd all be part of the same channel and we'd live stream together on some days, man. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Do you guys know about the YouTube channel, Nothing But Niners?
Nothing But Niners. Yes. Yeah.
I don't follow them as much anymore because I'm doing my own thing now. But before I started streaming they were like kind of like what I would go to. And I just loved that like all of them were from different places and like they kind of have, one channel. But that's just that, like we all offer something different. Your energy, Jay, is just a positive, like fun, interactive. I'm a little more serious, but I'm not angry. Yeah. CG is like, he's just brutally honest. That's his tagline. That's, he's just got a different Ultimate Report, 49ers Ultimate Report. He's kind of like me. He's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like everybody's got their own style. And that's what makes it what it is we're all not trying to be like, I like having guests on and talking to people that know more than me. I like to learn things.
Yeah.
I like other people's perspectives. Plus, I just like to interact with 49er fans because I think it's awesome. So, oh, man. You have anything else to add? If you want to tell people where to look for you who are on here that are not subscribed?
Sure. I appreciate you having me on 49ers First Take. It's been a blast. It's been a long time coming. For those who are interested in me, Jay intheBay, I appreciate you guys' support. You can find me on IG, Twitter with Jay intheBay, and also, of course, on YouTube with Jay intheBay. And I love it. We can all support each other, and we all got our own style. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And I can't wait till the season starts. And then we'll have something really, really to talk about. And, because we're past the draft, we're past free agency. Yeah. We're past, Trey Lance, he threw a great ball in 7-on-7,
right. We've kind of hit a little bit of a dry patch right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just I've regurgitated the same topics with different people for probably the last 4 lives, and we got no games. So, hey, man, it's been a blast.
Absolutely.
Well, I just wanted to see 49ers Ultimate Report I have to say here. He said it. He created his channel to build a community. That's a great idea. Having one channel for me, you, and the guys, and more people. Yeah, maybe it's something we could think about. Like maybe like a channel. We don't know. We could live stream or like I don't know how it would work. Like one person would have to be in charge of it or something, and then hey guys, we're gonna do a 49ers blah blah blah. On it would be like an alternate channel. I don't know how much traction it would get, but I think right now we got to concentrate on you guys growing your channels. Mm-hmm. Mine, I finally hit 1,000 subs back probably a month and a half ago. Took me a while, man. I was stuck at about 700 for a good minute. And then like CG Ruthless says, like sometimes you make a video and it gets a lot of hits, and that's when people start kind of flooding in. Yep. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's been great, man. I appreciate having you on. I appreciate you letting me have you on. And I want to do this again with the other guys. Maybe we'll do a little bit more of a collaborative thing soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on First Take. And I appreciate everyone coming through. Make sure you support 49ers First Takes. Make sure you subscribe. You like the stream. And also check out my channel, of course, Jay intheBay. And I appreciate everyone today in the chats. Appreciate everyone conversing with us. And I guess we'll be signing out.
All right, guys. See everybody. See you on the flip side.